guys, welcome to today's video, my first story time video. As you can guess by the title of the video, something crazy happened about 3 weeks ago now. So it was a Saturday morning. I got up, what was I doing? Pouring myself a glass of water, I think, and I noticed something through my kitchen blind and I was like, is that what I think it is? It was a tiny little kitten, and there was like a little dish on the garden table that had obviously filled up with I'm guessing rainwater, and this little tiny kitten was drinking from it. I couldn't believe my eyes. That's just the last thing you expect to see. Also because we have a dog, a big dog, so we just don't get cats in the garden, like, ever. We never have. So this tiny little kitten, I was in shock. So I went outside, and immediately as soon as I went outside, I kind of crept around because I didn't want to scare it off. But straight away this little kitten came straight up to me, was purring, rubbing himself on me, just was like the friendliest little thing. And he was really tiny and really skinny, like he just looked so underweight. This may have been stupid / irresponsible of me, because God knows if he had fleas or rabies at this point, but I just scooped him up instinctively, just picked him up and cuddled him. He was like freezing cold. I like put my dressing gown around him, and I then found out that he'd been there for a few days. He'd just been hanging around in our garden for a few days, which I think happened because my parents had gone away and taken the dog with them. This is really confusing, but at the moment, because we're about to buy a house, we are currently living in an annex on my parents' property. So yeah, so it's a flat and we have different entrances and blah blah blah, but it's on their ground. So anyway, they'd taken the dog, so I think that's why the kitten was here. And yeah, so I got told that he'd been hanging around in our garden for a good few days and hadn't left. So I was like, well, what on earth do I do? So I picked up the phone and called my parents and said, there's a tiny little kitten in your garden. Like, did you see him around before you went away? Have you seen him before? He's like a tabby cat. Yeah, he's like just standard brown and grey stripy tabby cat, but he's like really tiny and underweight, and he didn't have a collar. And he just looked like a little bit scraggy, like didn't really look well like kept. To me, he didn't seem like somebody's pet, but I mean, you never know. So I called Mum and Dad and they were just like, no, we have never seen him. Like, what was he doing? And I was like, oh, he's just like drinking from the little dish on the table. Obviously, yeah, there's water in there. And I said, I don't know if anyone like around here has fed him, maybe, so that's why he's like just not leaving. But I said, he's just already like attached to me. Like, straight away he was attached to me. He was snuggling into me. He fell asleep, like me holding him, wrapped him in my I don't know if he felt safe or what, but because I wrapped him in my dressing gown, and I mean, he might have been warm for the first time in days, who knows, but he fell asleep on me. I said to Mum and Dad, like, what am I going to do? So I was like, well, I'm going to take him to the vets, obviously. I was like, I don't know, what do you do in this situation? We've never been cat people. We don't have cats. None of my family or Ben's family have cats. We're way more like dog people. We all have dogs. But he was just lovely, and I just love all animals, so I was smitten straight away. My mum and dad were like, you're not keeping him, like, you know we've got a dog, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I know. I was like, but you know, he probably has an owner. Like, he's so tiny, he probably has an owner, so let's just go, I'll go and check. So then it was like, right, I'm home alone, how am I going to get this little kitten to the vets? So I tried putting him in like one of those stiff like freezer bag things. Didn't work. He fucking hated it and jumped out. I'd already brought him in my house, and then I realised he could have fleas, but it was too late for that. Anyway, I just carried him wrapped in my jacket. Obviously I got dressed, I carried him wrapped in my jacket to the vet's that's not that far from my house. He was so good in the car. He literally just sat on the armrest in between the seats and kept rubbing his face up against my arm and then he went underneath my arm and snuggled up and was falling asleep again. He just wanted to be near me, I think. I got him to the vet's, explained what had happened, and they said they were going to search him for a microchip. So they brought out this like machine thing and they go up and down his back and all over him. They said he definitely doesn't have a microchip. They said he's really, really young. And I said, well, I can tell he's tiny. And they said, and he's really underweight. And I said, okay, well, I'm happy to, I mean, what do I do? And they said, well, take him to a vet, to a proper vet. This was just the receptionist at the vet, so I was talking to. They were like, book you in for a proper vet's appointment on Monday, but for the weekend, I mean, it's your discretion. Like, that's the thing in the UK with cats. With dogs, you have like a responsibility, and so do the vets. Vets have to take them in. If you can't have the dog and you find it, then vets will house it. But with cats, they don't. So they were like, it's your discretion. You can just put him back out on the street. And I was like, no. I cannot put any animal back out on the street. Like, obviously this cat is going to stay with me for the weekend. So then I called my boyfriend and was like, surprise, we've got a weekend pet. Explained the situation. This little sweetheart, whilst I was on the phone in the car, just wrapped himself up in a sleeping bag that was on the back seat, and just fell asleep in our car. Just literally was snoring, snoozing away. Just content little thing, and he was tiny. And Ben, my boyfriend, was like, send me a picture, and I sent him a picture. He was like, oh my god, he's tiny. I was like, yep. And I can include these pictures as we go along for you guys to see, because I was taking pictures all day of him. They told me he was a boy, because obviously I had no idea if he was a girl or boy. They told me he was a boy, and they said that basically I had to call around all the different vets and see if anyone had reported him missing. But if after a week no one's come forward, no one's reported him, then it's your decision what you want to do with him. You can keep him, you can take him to a shelter, you can try and find a home for him, or you can just put him back out on the street. Which obviously I would never do. So I said, well, what do I do? I've never had a cat. What do I need for right now? And they said, well, really, you need something he can go to the toilet in. And so obviously you need to be able to feed him. I had some plastic like old party bowls, so I was like, I can feed him out of that and then throw it away, it's fine. So I bought him some cat food, and then I bought just like the cheapest litter tray I could find and just some litter, and took him home. And it was probably like a good like 5 hours or so that I was home alone with him before like Ben got home, or before anyone got home, but it was Ben that was first home. And the entire time he just slept on me, on my lap, on my boobs, on the sofa behind me. I've got pictures of that as well. Like, he just would not leave my side. Every time I moved, he'd come with me and like meow really loudly. He was so hungry when I found him. He was meowing so loudly, because I was like, is it normal for him to meow this much? Because I've never heard a cat be that loud, and the vets are like, he's probably hungry. And when I fed him, he wolfed it down like in a 0.5 seconds. Yeah, and I gave him water, and he was really thirsty as well. And then he went to the toilet straight away in the litter tray. I was well impressed. The vet, because I said to him, am I going to have to house train him? Like, is he going to shit all over my house like for this weekend? And they were like, no, like the smell of the litter, like if you buy an unscented one, it's like attracts them to go toilet in it. And sure enough, he got in it just to be, I think, inquisitive, and was like curious, and was feeling it and was playing with it for a bit. And then he eventually went to the toilet in it. Didn't have one accident of him going in the house, which was great. I was pretty smitten with him at this point. We'd spent all day together. He was so lovely and loving and affectionate. The vets had like roughly checked in for fleas, but said you really can't be sure until you take him on Monday. But there was also like a couple of tests I could do at home, where you like wet a piece of kitchen roll on your finger and rub his back or around his ears and stuff, and if it comes off dirty, he's probably got fleas. And it all came off perfectly clear. They said they couldn't find any like traces of fleas, so I was perfectly happy to have him in my house. So I mean, even if he did have fleas, it was too late. I'd already let him in, so, and I'd already kissed him and hugged him, so I would have had fleas, my house would have had fleas, but I couldn't just put him back out on the street. So yeah, he just was adorable, just so affectionate, so grateful. Like, every time I fed him, he just went crazy for me. It was just adorable. It was like he'd never been shown love before, honestly. Like, I know it sounds like an RSPCA advert or something, but it really was like that. Then my boyfriend got home. My boyfriend walked in. My boyfriend's like crazy about animals as well. My boyfriend walked in and like knelt down to him, and he just did the same thing that he did with me. Ran straight up to my boyfriend, jumped on him, was like nuzzling into him, and my boyfriend was just like, oh my god, and was like hugging him, and I cried. I literally cried because it was just too much for my heart to handle. It was adorable. They just loved each other from the second they met. It was just so cute. And then we booked him in for the vets on Monday. So first thing on Monday, I mean, he was fine all weekend, was no trouble at all. We were both pretty smitten. Like, Ben kept saying to me, we've got a cat, he's ours. And I was like, no, you can't get attached, because if it's a week and someone comes forward, like, he's not ours, like, you can't get attached. Ben was already attached. We went to, I mean, so was I, but I didn't want to admit it out loud, because like, I would have been heartbroken if I had got attached and then he had a home. So Monday came around, we took him to the vets. He had his flea jab, we paid for his flea jab, we paid for his like other jabs, and he had like worming done. They checked him again for fleas and they said they don't think he's got fleas at all, thank God, because all weekend I kept feeling itchy because I was just paranoid. They said he's definitely a boy, and they said that they think he's about 12 weeks old. And I'd called round all weekend at every vet's anywhere near us, and no one had reported him missing. The vet said, I'm pretty sure he's like feral, that he's just never had a home, that he was born outside, he's probably the only one of his litter that's survived, and then he's come into your house, obviously your dog's away, but he's come into your house because there was that little bit of shelter, and we don't at the moment because now it's colder, we've packed it away, but we had like all padded seats and cushions, and they said he probably snuggled up on there, that thing was filling up with water for him to drink from, and it felt safe. So and then you found him. We basically had to wait a week, so the time was getting on. Once we'd already paid though, the vet said, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a family. So we were pretty sure we wanted to keep him, but I mean, like I said, this isn't our like property, and my parents do have like our family dog here, and so we were like, is it fair? What do we do? I was like, okay, if we keep him, he'll be an indoor kitty, at least for the time being, and yeah, I mean, I've just never had a cat before, so like, I don't know. The time went past and it had been a week, and it was our decision, and we were just in love with him, so we have a kitten. We decided to keep him. We got him a little collar to mark the day that he was officially ours. And he just looked so handsome in it. He went from looking like a little stray to our pet, and yeah, he's just adorable. He just fit right in. That whole week he was, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, maybe he knew, but he was just so easygoing, so affectionate and loving, and oh, just adorable. The loveliest little cat I've ever come across. He hasn't like scratched us once. Every other cat I've ever held, they get like sick of you and they scratch you and go Ree! And they want to get down. He will literally sit on me for hours. Like, he doesn't move, he just sleeps on me. Even as I was like holding him, if I was ever holding him to like answer the door to someone or something so he doesn't like run out, he just fall asleep whilst I'm talking to someone in my arm. Like, he's just so chill. He's just great. So we decided to name him Figaro. We definitely wanted a Disney name. We were if he was a girl, we were going to probably call him McGonagall, because he looks like Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter. But he's a boy, so we wanted a boy's name, and we loved Figaro. It just suited him. We were umming and ahhing about Simba and then Tigger, and we liked their mischief because he's quite cheeky and mischievous, but Figaro just suited him, and like we keep singing Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. I don't know where I was, but we took him to the vets. He was really underweight, so we went out straight away and bought him a bed and loads of toys. He's like the world's most spoiled kitten. And we've been back to the vets again since, and in 3 weeks we have doubled his weight. Yay! He is now the ideal weight for a cat his age, which is amazing. He's doing really, really well. He's great and healthy, and he's just so happy, and we adore him. He's just brought so much happiness and light and like laughter to our lives, and he's just like my little miracle kitten. I just love him, and so does Ben. He's currently eating, but I'm going to introduce him to you all so you can meet him. He's just wonderful. I'm in love. And now we have a kitten, which was never part of the plan, and I look at him all the time and go, where did you come from? You were never part of the plan. We were never meant to have cats. But now we do, so. So you guys, meet Figaro! Oh, he's so beautiful. Look how cute you are. I've just said that you don't wriggle to get away from me, and now you're doing it. He is just too cute. I'm sorry if this is really dark. He is just beautiful. Aren't you? You're beautiful. Love you too. You're purring. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload every single week. I feel like he's destroying my life back there. And I hope you enjoyed my first story time. I will see you again soon. Bye! Hello, welcome to my vlog. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't flash the camera.